Yes, let there be light, and there was light. Okay, anchoring onto the words of the said God, the God of Genesis, the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Yes, it's all one and the same. That's Eve, Mother Eve. Yes, Mother Eve is Satan, the serpent, the snake, the Kundalini rise, the Christ, all of those still the same energy of Mother Eve. So Mother Eve now is really now beckoning us to understand her side of the story, because we have been given a side of the story that has served us up until a certain point, and right now we are wanting answers. We are wanting to heal ourselves from the structures and constructs that have now we have bruised ourselves against walls, and now she's saying come home and just take a bath in the waters. Remember, you are water. Remember, you are energy. You know, you are that life giving energy. You are after my likeness, my image, my likeness. So there are lots of things Mother Eve is saying. So anyway, I'd like to of course, with understanding Mother Eve more, we have looked at in the beginning, Mother Eve has given us a magic word which has just come out of seeming nowhere, but it's not nowhere. The way Mother Eve works is very intuitively. So basically, I was on my walk and out in the field, and it was just the muddy grass, and there was one dandelion in the grass looking, and it sort of pulled me. I literally stopped, and I thought, well, what stopped me? And I looked over, and there was a dandelion, and I thought, wow, in this weather, in the middle of winter, in this muddy place where it's the dogs and just people having walks in muddy area, and there's a dandelion seeking my attention, and of course it did get my attention. So I was marveled by that. And few days later, of course, I would be in the middle of this presentation, and the dandelion just popped. Yes, I can see a dandelion. Of course, at the time, I did not make the connection of having seen the dandelion few days or maybe a week before. But Mother Eve, she knew. She just knows, you know, you're going to be doing this presentation in the next week or whatever it is. And I want you to remember, take note of that dandelion. That's Mother Eve, yes. So the dandelion, however, has served, has given us some great insight to the structures of what Mother Eve wants us to look at. She wants us to count backwards. Now, of course, I'm going this way because there's the thing that we have been so used to going to the right. But however, I have changed the format of the numbers. It would be interesting to do it the other way. For instance, have the numbers still the same way but count going that way, and see what would happen with the numerical values. But however, we have seen the pattern here. It's like this is end, and she does state that we should be counting from 5, 9. So basically she appears twice in these numbers. So having to understand more of that makeup, we thought we would look at we have seen dandelions actually comes to 7, which coincides with the numerical value for the serpent. So the serpent is 7. We have seen 7 plus 7 for the gods of Genesis. We have 2 sets of 7s. They are 14 gods, and we are now, in fact, I have just completed some presentations where Mother Eve is saying there were 14 Eves, meaning 14 female Eves in Genesis of chapter 1 verse 3. So when Mother Eve said, let there be light, and there was light, we have seen that comes to let's see, that was 12 plus 13 that is 25. So 2 plus 5 was 7. So we saw this was the seven Eves there, and in Genesis of chapter 1 verse 3 4, the fourth verse is there. That's where God saw the light, and saw the light was good. So the sawing was and he divided the light and called the light day, and there was the darkness he called night. So that would denote, that is also a symbol of the seven the other seven. It's like saying 7 light eves and 7 dark eves, so to speak, or 7 day eves and 7 night eves. So 7 days and 7 nights. Wow. 7 days and 7 nights as well. The 7 days and 7 nights were right there in Genesis of chapter 3 as well. So there are layers on top of layers in that light. So anything that gives light or life is in that verse. So, excuse me. Wow. That's what Mother Eve does. That's how she operates. So I've done about 2 presentations on that, and now she slips that in. 7 days and 7 nights. That's what it is. Okay, we get that now. Now, we also looked at the second word last time in the beginning, just to look at that, and we went over that. And there's one thing that I was trying to make sense of beginning as well, and noticed for some time there are 2 things as well, because we have been given the gift to multiply, increase, and replenish and subdue and have dominion. These are the things from this manual we are given, which is the Bible, we could say, to create. And Mother Eve is now saying to us to pay attention. Go back to what you have learned before. Look at things backwards. So basically, I have been looking at the word the. I looked at the word the, and I noticed that the H here, THE, can also form like T, like I have done it here. The I, for instance, the H. Let's look at the H. The H is actually an I upside down. So H is this way, but if we turn it the other way, it becomes I. Now that made perfect sense to me, because on the template, the sacrifice template, H equals 8 and I equals 9. But of course, the word I also equals 8. So we can see how the letters are, and I don't know for all the letters, but we can see H, for instance, how it gives us the I. It represents the I. And I, of course, so in essence, the word the has 2 sets of I in it. So we could also say that it is really 2 I's. Then there's another magical thing right here as well. It is saying hi, H-I, like we greet each other and say hi. And if we were to do that in numerical values here, that would be 8 plus 8 would be 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. So we see the 7 number of creation is appearing right here again. Now, although on the other hand, if we did like a numerical value for 9, then that would give us 8 plus 9 would be 17. So 1 plus 7 would be 8. And there we would see the God number right here in high. Of course, God is high. Okay. Now, there we would also have, so we have high. I'll just put this here because I don't really want to mess up Mother Eve's hair. And then, so we have the H, and we see that, okay, how that has formed. Yes. So basically, we see how it has two aspects to it. It either has the 8 or it has the 9. 8 or 9. All right. Now, so that is versatile in a sense. Then we have the E. Of course, we have seen E. E can be the 8-petal flower that we have done, or the 6-petal flower. So we can see in that already there is God in E. So that's where we did the T. We did T. We see T here, and we have I for the H. We turned that upside down, and we saw E, that we have really a tie. This is where the word the in itself ties all of creation. So that's what we have a title on that. All of creation in the first two words, or the first two words of the Bible is all of creation. There's a title on that. So when we add this together, of course, as I, we have 9, and then we would have 9 plus 5 would be 14, 15, 16. So that gives us 7. So basically, the has two aspects to it. It has 6 and 7. But in that two aspects, if we tie it together, 6 plus 7, we would get 13. Meaning that in the is everything. The is the incubator, just as in the number 13, as that which I have been looking at on the template. So the would actually come in this column right here. This is where the sacrifice was, the table, the Last Supper was, the Sermon on the Hill, the crucifixion, which is the same thing, the raising of, so all those things were the is right here. Now, we were talking about, okay, not touching dandelion for now, because it's really something that I really want to, but let's stick to the for now, and or the first two words, just to explore them a little bit more. So we also see that the would be very versatile, as I say, if the E were to be a 3, or it will M would be 4 as well. So there is quite a lot going on with that. So, but we see the tie makes perfect sense. Okay, there's something I wanted to look at as well, because we were looking at, this is why I was saying everything seemed to, or I'm in two modes here now. Okay, let's go back to in. I also looked at in, and I saw the N has a Z, which also could be seen as an S. And I think it really is meaning to be the S, to say the IS. When we do this, it really means 10, and that would give us a balance as well. So as in as it is, this equals 9. 9 plus 5. When we do this, we have 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So basically, we have 5 as the numerical value there. But if we had is, like looking at the Z, the way the Z is going and what we can do with it, we would have 10. So we still would have, in this aspect, a balance notion in the word in, just as the 14 gods are in the 5 here as well. Okay, but it really tells us that everything is in that word. So it's another way of looking at the word in and seeing it encapsulate everything in there as 10, the masculine and the feminine. And of course, this is where our numbers go to. It has all from 1 to, or 9 to 10, we should say. 9 to 10, counting backward. And looking at beginning, the beginning, it's the same thing I saw with the ends here. And I did pay attention to the 3 ends here and see that they could be Z. And so we had 3Z, which is 8, the value of 8. That would be 3 8s are 24. 2 plus 4 would be 6, and that would of course tell us about the beginning. It would go in direct correlation, because when we do the numerical value for the word beginning is 9, and when we do the numerical value for the word 9, which is 5, 9, 5, 5, and add this up, 10, 19, 24, 2 plus 4 is 6. So we see that the Z's are giving us that 6 right there in their makeup. It's like the beginning of many beginnings in that beginning, because we have begin, and then we could have another begin, in again, and another begin, and it goes on like that. So we've had these waves of beginning. In actual fact, I get it. So I have dotted these hair of these eyes, and we have got, because I saw that there was an eye in each end, so basically this eye is also in here. So I did pay attention to that and saw that in each end is also an eye. So in each letter N, it constitutes beginning and end. So I have done a presentation on that. And so what I am saying now is, and I might have touched on that before, but it's sinking really well here now, because, and perhaps that answers the whole question right here. So between the 7 gods, the 14 gods, we could say, or the creation, or the 7 Eves, and the other separation where there was the division of day and night, 7 and 7, because that's what the G's are. It is telling us the B is where the incubation is, the E is Mother Eve, and Mother Eve, of course, we have seen how she comes to 5 in all different formats, and she's saying, okay, we hear Be Eve, meaning Be Eve, like the 7 here, and in here is the process of the series of the lettings that Mother Eve has been doing, because in each I, meaning in that N, has beginning and end. In this I by itself, which has the numerical value of 9, has in it beginning and end, because number 9, Mother Eve, is the comes to 5 in this 9. So numbers 1 to 9, like we were doing numbers 1 to 9 or 9 to 1, Mother Eve is in the middle right here in her first letter. This is the magic she done with the dandelion as well, because in her lettings, the first word she utters or recorded in the scriptures is let there be light, and we see the letter L is right here, coming right there on the ending or the middle part right there. So there are 8 entries that Mother Eve gave, and I have dotted these into 8 here, which we see coincides perfectly with the 8 entries, and that's why she's telling us to count backward, because really right now she's saying if we are counting backward now, we are on this, we are about to approach this I. We are about to approach this I right here, if we count this way, and whichever way we are counting, because even if we did count the other way, no, it is this way. So we are on the 7, the 7th cycle. If we count this way, if we count the other way, we would be on this 7 here. But on either side, we are being faced, and I believe it is this side we are going into, because we are birthing. We will be birthing into another sphere. This is the 9, and then we will be getting into the 7, another cycle of 7. So in essence, this I, as I had done before, would be seen as a number 8. That's what it is. So this I here would be 8, as in the word I, E Y E. When we do 7 5 7 5 and add this together would be 17. So we are here counting backward, and we would be entering into that new G. The G is the new 7-year cycle, and of course Mother Eve is there to help us in this area to know what we are bringing into this agreement here. Wow, this is heavy. I hope you got this. Yes, so no doubt I'll be doing another presentation on this beginning, but I do get it now. And just to really let you get the fullness of it here, because this is coinciding with the 7-year or 7,000-year or whatever cycle that we are completing, and the 8th that we are going into is where Mother Eve says, let there be light. So this is the 8th one we are getting into, and this is what I mean. This is what I mean in the beginning. So we are beginning, we are moving from this 7I here, and she said count backwards. This is what she was saying to me, count backward. So there is 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. So we are on 4, we are on 5. Wow, this is coinciding with this perfectly here. So we are on 5 here, and she's asking us to, it's coinciding right here in the middle, and this so we are here, and then in this 5 here we are in Eve ending, because she's ending, but she's ready to take us into this 4, which is our north, south, east and west, getting into another cycle. So basically on this scale, so basically we will be going back into this cycle right here, into another developmental stage right here, going this way again. Yes, I think I'll have to verify again with Mother Eve on that one. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this intriguing or thought-provoking. If you like this presentation, click the like button and share. Thank you. Namaste. And spill over with love.